Alright, so this is my custom recipe database where I use SQL Server CE as the database. The front end that you see here, all the GUI, graphical user interface, all done in .NET using the language Visual Basic. If you look at the program, here's your start page, and it gives you all these buttons with different options as to what category of food you're talking about. So let's go to desserts. As you can see, I just got a simple little recipe saved in there called A. So let's go ahead and delete that. It's going to ask you, are you sure? Yes. And as you can see, it's gone. Now you can go ahead and add a recipe. I'm not going to do anything fancy. This is just to demonstrate in the directions. Now let's click. As you can see, now the add button's disabled, so you can't use it again. Otherwise I'd throw an error. So we save it, and record saved. Now it shows up. And let's add another one. We're going to add. We're going to call this one A. Created by A, ingredients A, directions A. Now everything is saved according to the recipe name in this recipe list. So if you're looking for a recipe, you open up this tab and then you can look at the list, select the one you want, and it'll show all the related data in each field. Now let's click save, record saved, OK, and as you can see, now we have both in the list. And what happens when I click A is everything changes to the recipe A. And back to the other one. And we're done. So this will also save the file onto the hard drive. It is a text file. And it'll print also. Now let's do a save file. We'll save something. We're saving that one. That's the text box that you see on the form, ingredients and directions, and there's the ingredients and directions even though it's gobbledygook. Click save, and it'll ask you or tell you to be sure to save it to the recipe, to save the file name as the recipe name. Okay. Now you can save it, say, wherever you want. We're going to save it to the desktop. We'll save it as AAA, just to demonstrate. Save. Now if we go to, let's close that out. We'll minimize that. Where is A? There it is, on the desktop. Open that up, and there it is. Exactly like it shows it in the form. Now some of the categories, let's see, let's open up the program again so I can show you. Some of the categories have multiple categories in them, namely ethnic and holiday. So if we open up ethnic, you get pretty much the same user interface, except for across the top you have all these tabs, each one with a different ethnic name on them. And you can go into each of those ethnics, and they all look identical, but each one is tied to its own tab. So let's go to the beginning. Let's go to American. Let's add America, AAA. Okay. Now let's save that. Record saved. Now let's go to Chinese. Let's go ahead and add Chinese, CCC, for no reason other than to show you that it does save into each record differently. Record saved. So we're in Chinese. Let's go to American. America. Chinese. And as you can see, the recipe name shows up in the recipe list. And if there are multiple ones, you can click on whichever one you selected, and each one of these fields are changed to represent the specific data in each one. So let's close that. And I threw one in here for mixed drinks just because I like mixed drinks. And that's pretty much about it. On every single page, let's see, you open up the Family tab. You have a couple of abouts and helps. The help will open up another page which will walk you through what each button does. And then when you're done with that, of course, you just, when you're finished, close it out. And then the about, same thing other than it says the creator, me, copyright. And it does say feel free to share this if you want, but as long as you give it for free, no express permission is required. And that's just for demo purposes, it's not for actual release purposes. So we'll close that out, and we'll close this out. Now just to show you that it's fully functional, we'll close that out. Now let's run it again. As you can see, it adds a shortcut to the desktop. It also, when installed, adds to the list here, custom recipe solutions. Okay, same thing. So, let's see, let's go to ethnic, where we were, and as you can see, America, Chinese. Fully functional database program that saves any recipes that you add to it, and you can bring it up later. You can alter it, delete it, add more. Since it's SQL Server CE is a database, you have about 4 gigabytes of records you can keep, and being as how it's all text, you can save quite a large amount of data to it. So that's the demo on how that works.